All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Exposure Runs the Podcast. I'm your host, Mustafa. Our next guest, most people should already know, and if you don't know, I will be happy to run off a pretty impressive resume as a junior in high school. If you bear with me, I'd like to give you the proper introduction, if that's okay.
Yeah,
all right, cool. All right, today's guest is the class of 25, 6'9", 4-star, ESPN Top 60, number 11 in the region, number 2 in the state. Currently holds 23 Division I scholarship offers. 14 of them are from the Power 5. He's a player out of Kenwood Academy High School. And if you will allow me to read off all 23 of your offers, is that okay? You don't mind that? All right. So your first one came from New Mexico State, is that correct?
Yeah.
All right, cool. And then from there followed Arizona State, Bradley, Bryant. I was going to say something. When I typed that, I was going to say something about that, but I don't want to do that. Kyle, Power 5. Cal Poly, where a friend to the show, Quentin Jones, attends. Georgia, Power 5. Georgia Tech, Power 5. Georgetown, very prestigious university, which I was surprised to find out are not a Power 5. I did not realize that. I thought that they were, but nonetheless. Illinois, of course. Maybe you could be the hometown hero with Jeremiah M. Juarez. We'll see. Indiana, Power 5. Oh, Illinois is a Power 5 too, if I didn't mention that. Iowa, Power 5, which is where Owen Freeman and Brock Harding attends. I always mispronounce this as an outsider, so please forgive me. How do you say it? Loyola? Okay, Loyola. LSU, Power 5. Michigan State, Power 5. Friend to the show, Jeremy Fierce attends. Ohio State, Power 5. Oklahoma, where Coach Moser is now the coach. He came from Loyola, Power 5. Oregon, Nike Town. That would be my... Actually, I got a tweet when I said you was coming. So a couple people tweeted and said, can you please steer him towards Illinois? I said, I'll see what I can do. All right, so Oregon, Tennessee, Power 5. Tulsa, Western Illinois, which was your second offer. Wisconsin, Power 5. And my son's namesake university, Xavier. Did I get them all right? Am I missing any?
I don't have one from Wisconsin.
No? Okay, it said that you did, so my bad. So we're going to go ahead and cross that out then.
Yeah.
All right, so nothing from Wisconsin.
Nah.
Wisconsin, get on your shit, please. All right. So I'd like to welcome Aleks Alston to the show. And his father, Ryan, we call him Reno Alston. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys coming out. Thank you very much. I know we've been back and forth individually, talking to Dad via Twitter, talking to Alex via Instagram. We initially tried to get you guys to come out to the showcase. Unfortunately, schedules were not able to align. You guys were going to come, and then unfortunately, schedules were unable to align it. But I do appreciate you guys making time to come on the show today. Thank you very much.
Appreciate you.
First question, right off the bat: who wins in the game of 1-on-1 between you and Dad? Right off the bat.
Oh, it's me.
No question?
So I'm gonna just say,
he's
laughing.
He's never gonna beat.
So look, all right. So I remember this. So look, so we 1-on-1, we good. We go to like game. What was the game we always go to? Like 7, right? So he was winning and stuff. So I came back. This was like 3 years ago.
Okay.
So this is how bad it is. He never played me since.
Since then.
So it was 5-6. So he thought he was gonna win. He joking around. I get the ball, score 6-6. He say, hold on, I gotta go to the bathroom. Never came back. Next thing you know, he talking about, all right, let's go. We going home. I'm like, what about the game? He talking about, yeah, we'll finish that. It's been 3 years.
Been 3 years.
Still hasn't finished.
Dad,
he'll never beat me.
Dad, do you want to speak on that? Did you see the movie with what was the movie from with Serena Williams? The movie with Will Smith when the girl went to the bathroom and never came back to see her. That's what you did to him?
No, I did this long. I knew this long before Serena Williams. King Richard?
King Richard.
Yeah, it was long before that. It's just something in the basketball community. You can't
let your son beat you.
It can't happen.
Now, if he would have beat you, who would have been taking the trash out after that?
He still would take trash.
That's what I'm talking about.
Ask him his Nerf record though. See, I'll ask him his Nerf record.
Talking about Nerf hoop.
Ask him his Nerf record. 365 and 4. He got lucky on some of them little last second. Yeah,
Nerf hoop. Like, come on.
So real basketball,
You can't let it happen.
I can't let it happen.
You cannot let it happen.
And I'll never play him again.
And you shouldn't.
And I won't.
And it's a rite of passage. When he has his children, he could do the same thing to them.
I'll always be the same.
Like I'm the same way with Zay. So we played one of our last times we played at Matson, and I was winning. And from there it was just like messing around. It was like, yeah, we're never going to finish this game, bro. Yeah. Never. And I think he'll tell you that he won the game because he hit shots after I'm like, I'm done. Like the score was like tied or I might have been beaten by one, but it was like, there's no need to finish this game. I reign supreme in the house. So
there you go.
A basketball game will never change that. Off the court, when you're winding down, trying to chill, what's one of the favorite things that you like to do?
Off the court, probably just chill in my room. Like listen to music or something.
Who's your favorite
artist?
artist?
Get on the game. My favorite artist, not people I know him. He from LA. His name Phenom Beezy.
Okay.
I listen to him, or I listen to Baby Smooth.
Okay.
So yeah, but then just outside of that, instead of I feel like it's still chilling to me. I go to Top Golf with my dad and stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, we just go to Top Golf, or I just go to the movies with my mom, chill with my mom.
So you have that's great to hear, and that was going to be one of my questions. So you have individual activities that you like to do individually with mom and dad?
Yeah.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
That's
my mom don't golf. So
okay.
Yeah, I can't do no Top Golf or nothing like that with her. But it's just different. I feel like they two different people. So, have my moments chill with my mom and then do some activities with my pops.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's really important. First of all, like as a dad, and before we got on air, your dad was asking me about Xavier, which I appreciate. I think there's a and again, when way down the line, when you do become a father, you'll begin to understand that space that dads are in when we're talking about our kids. Like it gives us a sense of like pride, and when people ask you heard me say when your dad asked me oh, thank you for asking, we get so internally emotional, but it's like we just really feel good to be able to talk about our kids. Like when I'm talking to people about Xavier and his little brother, it's just such a sense of joy to talk about it. So I'm sure your dad knows exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, am I speaking facts on that part?
Correct. I mean, it's one of those things that especially as a black man, you want to be able to put your child in a position to be able to move on and enjoy life and do things better than what you had.
Mm-hmm. The baseline is at least what we had. Yeah. That's the baseline.
Yeah. Right. And so, to be able to see him be able to have the opportunities, that we didn't necessarily have, and be able to be on projection to be, above and better than us, that's an accomplishment.
A huge accomplishment. It's a huge accomplishment, not just to us and our family, but to other fathers.
Yes.
We, that's kind of like a rite of passage. Like, man, I see what your boy is doing, man. We proud. Yeah. It's something about another black man to tell another black man that we're proud of them and what they're doing for their family. It's really, really big. What's your favorite subject in school and why? You can't say gym.
School.
You can't say gym. Can't say gym.
Lunch.
He said lunch.
On some, I'll say, to be honest, Spanish.
Okay.
Probably that. And I feel like, the learning part be fun sometimes, but it's different when you really have a good relationship with like certain teachers, and it's like you work with them, they're gonna work with you. So it's like, making it where, because school, of course, when I was young, it wasn't fun and stuff. I don't think a lot of kids really like
They not.
Right.
And for us neither. For us either. So just to be clear.
Yeah, but I feel like it's a different culture at Kenwood. So it's like, going to school, Spanish, I feel like that's probably one of my favorite subjects.
Who's your favorite teacher and why? Would it be your Spanish teacher?
Yeah, I feel like all my teachers really,
okay.
They all look out.
Okay.
So it's like it's not really a favorite teacher. It's just all of them look out for me, and I really appreciate that.
So would that be the same for my next question? Is who is your favorite non-teacher staff, like a staff member who isn't a teacher? Do you have a favorite? And can't be Coach Irvin either.
Again, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, it's really I really had my freshman year to like now I've always just had. Relationships with the staff and stuff like that. So yeah.
I know the few times that Bo and I have been down at the school, either with Coach Andre or the girls team, or obviously Coach Irvin or everybody, the fixer of Kenwood, which is Smooth.
See, that's what I thought he was gonna say when you started asking.
Right. Smooth is.
I forgot. Yeah.
See,
okay, he do be on the third floor, like just
Smooth is.
Right? What you call him? You don't call him Smooth. What they call him in the school?
What they call him?
Houston.
Yeah.
No, so every time we've been down there, what I've noticed, I'm not gonna speak for both. What I've noticed is that the culture of the school, right? So I've worked in schools. When I first moved to Chicago from Philadelphia, I worked in schools from 2012 to 2018. I moved here to work with an alternative model high school. So I have a little bit, actually no, I got a lot of bit of experience working just with the culture of high school, and then not just high school, but like that culture of the alternative model type students who are labeled a certain way. But what I did notice is that the culture at Kenwood is very, not just basketball-wise, because basketball, girls and boys, takes it to another level.
Yeah, it's just extra.
It's extra, right? But like the culture that I've seen from the staff and the students, first of all, it's like on the first day of school, where teachers or staff are hired doing their offer letter, it's like everybody get a pair of Jordans. I didn't see not near a person down there without a pair of Jordans on, and I was like, damn, like that's what they paying them in, Jordans. It was lit down there, but like everybody was real cool. Even on the dismissal from games, usually got kids that's real kind of sassy and mouthy, and it was real cool. Like everything was lit. Now I'm sure there's some stuff you pull the curtain back. I get it, but
you have to attribute that though to the principal. Miss Karen Calloway.
Yes.
Because the school is a reflection of her, and she does a real good job over there, and that's when you say that, that's kind of how it is.
And shout out to her,
right? And I think it was done. She's been there such a long time, and so it was kind of like, because if I'm not mistaken, she was a counselor before she became principal.
And I think Mike mentioned that too.
And so that goes a long way because of how she deals with the kids even before she became that principal. And I think, in education, she knows the kids, and everything is about the kids with her.
I believe that. I remember when we had Coach Irvin up here, he spoke very highly of her. I've seen her at the games that we've been to.
Oh, she runs that. When you start talking about what somebody she runs it. She goes over there in front of that student section, and it's just like,
they feed off her.
It's like
instead of vice versa.
What do you call that? The conductor. The conductor's on the stands on the thing, tap. And that's how she is. That's how she controls that crowd. Yeah.
That's dope. It's good to have that type of atmosphere at the basketball games, because when you go out to some of these other schools, and you know what I mean by the other, they got a good student section and body, and they kind of the energy, the players feed off the energy. So it's good to kind of see that at some of our schools. What's your favorite meal? What's your favorite food?
Mac and cheese.
Okay.
And some barbecue baked back ribs.
Okay. All right. What's your favorite game day meal?
Game day?
Like pre-game.
Now I gotta think about what I'll be doing before games. I think it was probably, I'll say the most recent one, like Portillo's, I guess. Because from school, because high school ball, so it's like, the only time you can really eat is like when you go out for lunch.
Right.
So yeah, usually it'll be that, or I just go get a grilled cheese.
Okay.
And from this place, like they be remembering me. They be like, "Oh, it's game day, ain't it?" Because that's when I'll go in there. So
that feel good, don't it?
Yeah,
that feel good, don't it?
They be like, "Who y'all got?" I be like, say the school name. They're like, "All right, you got a discount."
Okay, that's what's up. That's good stuff. What's your favorite meal of the day? Breakfast, lunch, or dinner?
Dinner. All right, dinner. Rough day, good day, bad day, whatever. Just
have a nice hot dinner
right there. Yeah.
Dad, can you cook?
I cook a little bit.
No, you don't.
I cook the breakfast.
Okay.
But I'm a meat and potato guy, so I do the grilling.
That right here. I'm doing it tomorrow.
So
it's gonna be a nice 40 degree. I'm the Bill Cosby type. As soon as that sun show, I'm sparking that grill up.
That's what you gonna do?
No, we got to get the other new grill in because y'all got rid of my old grill. They waited for the winter time and saw a little rust on it and stopped. No, we got to throw that away.
He stopped using it. That's why.
So
what kind of grill did you have? What kind of grill did you have?
I just had it was a Weber.
Okay.
The new one I got, my wife is bringing it from out of storage.
Okay.
So, and I'm not sure which one that is, but I saw a picture of it and it's nice.
It looks nice.
That's all I know. It's
now,
a nice big grill.
Do you prefer gas or do you prefer charcoal?
I do a lot of the gas grilling now, but
it's more convenient. Right,
it's more convenient. But I grew up on the grill.
The charcoal,
the charcoal grill with the wood flavored chips. And
I'm into the lump coal now. I don't do like the the Kingsford briskets. I'm into like the lump charcoal now. It burns longer and burns hotter. Oh yeah, I'm into it. I got a big barrel grill and I got one of them Traeger grills with the pellets. My wife.
No, I'm not that sophisticated.
Oh yeah,
he started talking about pellets.
Oh okay.
That's the new stuff for me now.
I can do it a little bit. I got it a little bit, Pop. Yeah, I'm a little. You know, I'm at the apprentice stage. You know, I'm pretty good with it. Outside of yourself, regardless of class, name your top 5 players in the state.
Regardless of
class.
Like just top 5.
Top 5. Who you think are the top 5 players in the state? I don't care if they're a freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior. In your mind, who you think are the top 5 players?
Dang, that's on the spot though. I don't. Yeah.
Give me top 2.
Top 2 players?
Top 2 in your mind. Outside of yourself, who is the top? Who would be after you? Top 2.
After me. Who you think? Because I don't even know. I mean, man, that's tough.
Okay, all right, we can come back to that. No big deal. No matter what team y'all play on, whether or not this person comes to your team at Kenwood or you go there, what current player would you like to play with?
J. Richardson.
Okay. Okay.
That's my guy, man. I know he transferred out, but that was like my first like actual like point guard.
Okay.
So
okay. What previous player from the last say 2 or 3 years would you want to play? Would you wanted to have played with?
Wanted like who I haven't played with.
Yeah. So like from the 23, 22s, 21s, there was no season in 20. So from the last say 2 or 3 years, what player that's probably now in college would you have wanted to play with in high school?
Oh, I'd say because he left too, like JJ.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like this, like I played with him open runs and stuff,
right.
But like it was like actual Kenwood. Yeah, I feel like JJ that would have been tough.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
JJ was one of JJ Modest, Shakachi, Diggy, Xavier. They were like a part of my very first exposure run. Like I got this picture where they like skin and bones, all of them, with their shirts off after we had a run at my wife's school. And they were like, you know, shout out to them because they were really the catalyst for me starting this platform. JJ is a real good dude. You know, I hope to see him land on his feet. You play on a loaded Kenwood team. You, Chris, Dev, Calvin. Does it get difficult trying to find your shine? And how does Coach Irvin and the staff help you see that bigger picture?
I feel like what you just said, like finding shine and stuff, I feel like that really was the issue, you know, right in the beginning of the season.
Okay.
So it's like, I feel like everybody was, and I'm not like trying to put none of my teammates down or nothing like that, but I feel like it's the truth. Like, I feel like everybody was trying to find themselves in the rotation and what we were trying to build. I don't think everybody was on the same page.
Okay.
So I feel like now it's like, you know, Coach Mike Irvin, you know, he put it in a way for us to really understand that through practice, changing the ways we, you know, play with each other in practice and how we hold ourselves. And, you know, he made it where it was much more easier for us to get off what we need to get off. So, you know, first, it's team first always. Mm-hmm. And when we started to understand that, I feel like now you can see as stats show and how our games are showing, like everyone's eating. Mm-hmm. So I feel like we just keep doing that. And I feel like we still not to, you know, highest point of what we can be.
Got you.
So I feel like we just keep doing what we're supposed to do. Everybody gonna be eating. Everybody going to college. It's all gonna be set.
How do you think that experience is preparing you for? I mean, you are a very you're one of the top players in the state, definitely, and you're mentioned as one of the top players nationally. How do you think that experience that you just spoke about is going to help prepare you for playing at that next level? Obviously, you're going to be a top recruit. You're going to go to a school that is already solidified with their rotation, their star players, and you're coming in as a top recruit. How does that experience that you're dealing with in high school want to prepare you for that?
I feel like it's going to be a huge jump, but I feel like it ain't nothing new. My freshman year going to Kenwood, I was a bench. I was just there to be there, to be honest. I feel like my dad was really the reason why I was even dressing on the bench. So, you know, I ain't never really thought about it for real, but now I think about it, it's like how you go from not playing a tick of time on varsity, you strictly JV, now you starting on varsity next year. So it just shows me like how much you can do, and it's really all mental. Like I had the same body and everything, you know, same skill set, everything. It's just getting in the gym and trying to perfect that as much as I can. So I feel like if I was able to do that in high school, the way it was, the way my lineup was, and not having, expectations like how I do now, I feel like the expectation is going to make me want to, even go harder. So I just feel like that jump, knowing that college, they're going to have their rotation and all that. Like, for me, I feel like it ain't going to be a struggle. I mean, of course it's going to be a struggle.
I know what I mean? Yeah,
like,
I do.
But, like, actually...
You'll be prepared for it.
Yeah, I'll be totally prepared for that.
Okay.
So.
Dad, just for 1 second, taking your... And I know how difficult this is, but I love to do it for Xavier. Take your dad hat off for a second. Put on coach, former player. Describe his progression, his maturing on and off the court. Like, can you give us a description of that?
On the court... I let's just say it's certain things about coaching that you see when kids are younger, and you know that they're special. Not everybody else can see it, but you know. The hardest part for me is a lot of people say, well, that's just your son. And what for me, what I had to do was to say, okay, this is my son, but I'm also a coach. I had other players. And so for me, I took the route of, I was probably harder on him. It was times where I can remember during the summer, people were like, well, you the only person I know that if I was the coach of the team, ain't no way in hell my son wouldn't be playing a certain amount of minutes. But I'm a competitor. I want to win.
First.
I want to win first. So either he's going to step up to the plate, or I'm doing what? Cutting somebody else short of where they need to be. So for the longest, I struggled because, a lot of people didn't see it. A lot of people did see it, but then as we got older, they didn't want to see it. I put my son on the back burner for other kids, but I knew where his was going. And so as that thing changed around, then it became, well, Alex only doing it because you his dad. No, that's not it. And then you pick up, and then you start to see, so for me now, as you say, as a coach, I watch these same people say, oh, damn, I guess he is kind of good. But as a coach and knowing talent and developing talent, you seen it was there. It's just that you got to learn how to maneuver it. And it was tough because I'm coach and I'm father, and everybody else just wants their child to be the one. And so now I got to figure out how to balance it, but I also got to figure out the worst case scenario is you just better win, because if you don't, you're going to get it from all over. Angles. But if you win,
they can't say nothing.
They can't say anything.
They can't say nothing.
And so,
which you just triggered something. So not even being, not to put myself down.
Right.
I'm not on. I've never been on the coaching. I know the game.
Right.
I've never played professionally. I've never played at the next level. One of the reasons why I had to stop coaching Xavier, like I coached him through middle school and a little bit as he was getting older. I stopped coaching because I was having a difficult time separating dad and coach from the redirecting him on the court to how they get to like, oh, coach aside, I'll knock your ass out with that attitude. I'm still your dad. So I had to.
He remember them days.
Yeah. So let me tell you about this one time at Madison. Xavier wasn't doing something right. Now I'm coaching him. No dad, no nothing. I'm coaching him, and he like at this time Xavier was like one of the best players in the South suburbs. And one of the reasons why I started the platform is because we were outsiders, and I didn't think blah blah blah. We playing the game, and he like dicking around on the court, and I'm like, as a coach, I'm like fired up, and he come over to the bench, and I'm like getting into him, and his vibe was like, I was seconds from taking the dad hat off and knocking his ass out. I mean, taking the coach hat off, and I didn't even I was subbing him out. It was like, you know what? No, dog, you can't even go. You can't even sit on my bench. Go over there and sit with your mother. She in the stands with my son who was not even 2 months old. Man. You can't even sit on. You done for the game. You done. Go sit in the stands with your mother. And it was at that moment when I'm like, you know what? I can't. He can't, and I can't do this dad coach thing. And so I stopped. From then on, like after that little season or whatever, I haven't coached him again since then.
And see, I went through some of those. I'll just say, thank you very much, Corey Bradford, because that's who we coached together. And so his thing is Reno, I'll take Aleks, you take Chase.
Right, switch off.
Yeah. So I was coaching everybody else, but he was like, I'll handle Aleks.
Yeah.
And you handle Chase. And so that was kind of the
You got to do that.
And that's what we did. But what the biggest thing for me is, you know, I knew he was talented. But I also know, because I'm born and raised here in Chicago, I know what the expectations are.
Yeah.
Especially as a high-level athlete.
I know what all of it. And they didn't believe that he was a high-caliber athlete. I knew he was. And that's where it was difficult.
When did you see him starting to believe what you was already believing? And is he?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you where it first hit me. I remember we were in Vegas, and he was in 8th grade, and we would go back and forth, and he would just say, "Dad, I would, those car rides home," and I'm just like, "Man, you should do da." He was like, I was like, "If you don't want to do it, then let me know. I'm done. If you don't want to be here, then quit."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Well, I don't want to do it no more. I quit." And so
He called your bluff.
No, he didn't call it bluff. He said, "I quit." And he was serious. He was like, "Fuck this, fuck you. I'm done. I don't want. If I got to deal with it, I'm done. I quit." And I'm just like, "You done ran him away from the game, and you know damn well that nah." And so I just shut up the rest of the way. And then the next day we had a big game, and I'm just like, just kind of just like trying to play it off like, "Corey, get your boy. Corey, get your boy." And I never forget it. I mean, we were playing, and, it was just one of those things. People they would start complaining about this, complaining about that. Why is he out on the court? Why is he doing this? Why is he doing that? And then this time, the game got close, and it was one of those games, and, now all of a sudden we looking, and we draw up a play, and he shoots the game, he boom, knock it down. And it was like, wasn't even a thought. We talking about somebody, not even a thought of, just give me the ball. This is what I do. That mentality, you can't teach that.
Yeah.
You can't teach it.
You either got it or you don't.
You got it or you don't. And so I knew that it was there. But his biggest thing, what really made him want to go to that next level is, and I'll never forget it, he got his first in-game dunk. Now, mind you, he about 6'4". At this time, we had Bryce Hurd. He was number one.
Right.
And he was just dunking. Whenever we get breaks, he would just dunk it. And Aleks didn't get a dunk. So his thing I
want one.
I want one.
Yeah.
And he got one. And once he got that dunk, then he started saying, because his thing was, man, why I'm not dunking? But what people didn't understand
no
was,
bounce, man.
yeah, but he thought it was the Caucasian gene taking over. But
I'm like, dang, he getting up there dunking. Everybody want to dunk.
But the catch is the way he grew and his growth, like
I was dunking loose too.
his feet, like he wears a 17 shoe. So now, his feet was bigger than everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody would always complain, he too slow. He don't do this. He don't do that. And the reality is he ain't grew into his body.
Right.
So, and as a coach and as an evaluator, I know what it looked like when people peak and level out.
Yeah.
And I know he had IQ, passing the ball, wasn't worrying about scoring, can shoot it, and I knew he still was going to be growing.
Mentally too.
And mentally.
Yeah.
Because he was always younger than everybody.
Right. And people forget about that too.
They forget about that.
We had was it Richard or was it Quentin, where I think it was Richard, where they played at such a high level, but they are still very young. And I ran into Rich's dad and his mom, and at one point it was like, yeah, Rich about to be, at one point it was Rich about to be 16. I'm like, about to be 16? The boy looked like he's 37.
And in today's basketball world, everybody reclasses. Everybody's always a year or 2 years older.
Yeah, that too.
So, I mean, like for the 2025 class, Aleks doesn't make 17 until next week.
Right,
Everybody
right.
else is 17, some turning 18.
You got some that's 16 that's still in 8th grade.
Yeah, well,
We ain't gonna talk about that.
yeah.
We ain't gonna talk about that.
That's
Let me ask you. We ain't gonna talk about that. Let me ask you. It's a two-part question. how difficult was it for you to take off or to separate dad versus coach? And then also, too, why is it, and Xavier does this too, why is it that it seems like as us as fathers, whether we are, fathering or joking, but like we'll say something to y'all and it's kind of like, yeah. But somebody else will say almost verbatim the same thing without prompting us, and the shit is gospel. Why is that?
So, help which one you want me to answer?
You can answer either one
first. The first one?
So the first part is, how difficult was it for you to take off or to separate dad versus coach?
Right. Okay. So, for me, I've always been coaching my dad, like my whole life.
Okay.
So it was like, even through the, me being mad at him for some reason, because he's telling me the right thing. I don't want to hear it.
Right.
All right. And I'll get into why I feel like that. All right. But I've been coached by my dad my whole life. So it was like, I think, when was the transition? Yeah, the transition was really, even though he was like an assistant coach, he never used to, he's still like now, like he don't even like, well, he still do, but he don't really coach me a lot because, we got like 7 coaches on the bench, and now you got the head coach, and he not the head coach. So I think that transition really happened through AAU. No, through my sophomore year going to basketball, because he was my AAU coach too. But I feel like that transition was kind of, at first, I'm thinking to myself like I started in practice, like I was nervous because it's like I felt like I always had to prove something because my dad not the head coach. So it's like I got to prove, and now I'm thinking too much. Now I can't play my game.
That's fair.
So it's like I had to realize, at the end of the day, like my dad's still gonna be there when I get out of practice. Before practice, after, it's just in the middle of the practice, you got a head coach. Now you got to do what he want. And it's not a big deal. I mean, and that's when the relationship got to hit with the head coach. So I feel like when I started gaining that and, realized, just because my dad not the coach don't mean nothing. He's still in my ear, So it's like that transition was, it was at first, it was kind of, like nerve-wracking. But then it's smooth.
Just leveled out.
Yeah, it's smooth now.
And so for us, as dads, I will say that as long as we position ourselves, whether purposeful or thankfully just the way that we carry ourselves as far as character go. Like for me, I don't know who would this be for you, but for me, it's Diggy's father, Eric Tillery. He's the person for me where I don't have to tell him. He'll pick up on something where he would just go and talk to Xavier, right? And it's usually 95% of the time is usually something verbatim that I had already said to him, of whether it's school related, basketball related, or just as he's growing. And Eric, since I moved here, has always been that person. Now, I have people from back home, even people here, like my guy Tyree Booker, my guy Anthony Haley, and those are my inner circle guys. And while Eric is one of my inner circle guys, I mean, he's from here. Like that relationship was cultivated and grown and developed since I've been in Chicago. And so for me, he was always that person where I can remember a lot of times where I was frustrated with Zay when, he played at Colin Powell with Diggy, or even, when Eric would pop up at a game over at Marist and then eventually at Oaklawn, and it was just like, I'll talk to him. Don't worry about it. Or just kind of reaching out to Zay, texting or calling him just to kind of check in. So for us as dads, it's always good to have those people around that we know is going to pour into our kids whether we're around or not. And that our kids are going to respect whether we're around or not. Like that's really, really important in our community to have that. Like I grew up in Atlanta of having that community-based. I couldn't go here without brother such and such saying something to me. I couldn't go here, so it was like a tripod of like, damn, I can't do nothing around here because these brothers is always pouring into me and trying to make sure I'm on the right path. So that's really, really, really important. We had Coach Irvin up here on the show. Very funny. Was very easy to talk to. Very open. He actually surprised me in that prior to actually meeting him, right, wrong, or indifferent, I had my own thoughts on Coach Irvin. Right, I'll be the first to admit that. And before my interview with him, my guy Anthony Haley told me like, "Moo, you're gonna end up liking him because he's just like you." And I'm like, "Nah, I'm interested in the interview. I want to hear what he has to say." I felt like he walked out of here like my best friend after that. Like I'm like, damn, this guy got so much in common with me, just his personality. My question to you is, what is he like as a coach? What is he like as a man? What is he like with the team? Like, describe him.
I feel like a lot of people, like when they see how he coach out, getting all mad and stuff and all that, I feel like they laugh and they joke, but it's like they don't understand, what he puts in though, and why he act like that certain times. It's him as a coach, like he just want to win. Like he really hungry for it. Like his background of, having siblings and who his father and his mother was, So
that's
it's
deep
like,
right there.
Yeah, it's beyond deep. And I was there since I was a little kid too. I was always around. So I feel like it's definitely gonna be different, especially when now I'm playing for him. So it's like, I feel like just the way he coaches is he hungry. Like even if he gets to the top of the top, he's still hungry. Like when we got ranked preseason #1, like even though okay we lost and all this, all right, we get that, but it's like that ain't gonna take him down. It ain't gonna take nobody down. So his mindset is just win, and that's what he's been trying to do. So it's like, him as a coach, he's a really good coach. Like
that what you just said was actually very deep. What you said as it relates to Coach Irvin, the family, the expectations of the family, win.
Right.
A brother that played in the NBA, obviously, is one of his brothers is coaching in college. His sister is one of the top CPS administrators. So their family has developed a culture of winners and winning, and so to kind of see that in his players, like for you to describe it the way that you described it was really good. What are your honest thoughts on the entire AAU scene circuit? Do you think it's necessary, and are y'all playing a lot of basketball? And do you think it's necessary?
Yeah, I mean, people look at it, a lot of games and stuff like that. Yeah, but I mean, you only helping yourself. I mean, when you kill and kill, it's going to get to a point where now you making it where everyone's going to come out to watch you. So it's like some people, they'll be like, we ain't got a lot of people at our game and stuff, or just keep working. They going to find you, So it's like no matter, EYBL, the UAA, is that UAA? Under Armour.
Under Armour, yep.
It don't matter what circuit you in, to be honest. Like, it really doesn't. Like, they going to find you.
Okay.
So.
How has your recruiting experience been overall? You had 23 offers. What are some of your likes and dislikes about the recruiting process?
My likes is definitely, a lot of people be like, they don't really like that, but I like when, coaches blow up the phone and stuff like that. Because it's like, it just shows how much they really care and want you to be at their school. Dislikes, what dislikes would it be? I feel like, but this hasn't happened to me, but I say a dislike would be if a coach is hitting me up, and out of nowhere they just ghost me. Like, I ain't gonna lie, like that's bad.
Yeah, well, that's good. That hasn't happened.
But like, there's different reasons to it. Like, actually, no, I think it has happened to me. But the only reason why it happened is because they still cool and all, but they realize I ain't going there.
Okay.
So like, the first couple offers, it's like low division, whatever, and then once they see all this other stuff, then they like, last thing they'll say to me was, keep hooping, and then I ain't never heard from them again. And I'm like,
yeah, they probably get to that point.
I get the business though.
Okay. What type of coach or program are you looking to play for?
First and foremost, I just want a relationship with the staff, everybody. That's all I'm looking for. Just a really good relationship, so knowing I can trust them. Because when I get there, my people going back home. This is my new home, so it's like something like that. And then also like. The team, fast pace, get in and go, get to the spots, and a winning team too.
Okay.
I know people like to be like, I want to turn around and lose a team and stuff, but for me, I'm gonna get mine either way. I just want to win it.
Just want to win. Will you seriously consider, if offered, a serious offer at HBCU?
HBCU.
A historical black college or university?
I mean, I never got that question before. I'm never going to deny, an offer. I'm always interested. I'm open to all. So, I'm always open.
I'm a byproduct of a HBCU. I went to Lincoln University of Pennsylvania, the first HBCU. It was always a goal of mine to help steer Xavier to a HBCU. An offer never officially came, even from my own college, which was kind of disappointing for me, particularly for my own university. But just seeing where Xavier was, I felt like he was a good mid-level Division I player, D2 player. And we talked off camera where he ended up going. I mean, he ended up at a great school. He's in the NAIA, but they play some really good. I mean,
basketball.
They play really great basketball there. So, but I would love to have had that opportunity to at least consider it. I think HBCUs, while their funding sometimes is well below an obvious Power 5 school, or even some schools that are not Power 5s, I think they do themselves a disservice by not leveraging those relationships in our community with some of those high-level athletes a little more. And even the high-level athletes that have gone on to, like Howard, you had one of the Maker kids win. They had, I think, Chicago State just had the two players, the twins.
I don't know if they played.
I think they ended up leaving.
They never played.
They never played. I just think that HBCUs are not, and even to see what Coach Deion Sanders did with the football at Jackson State, I think the HBCU coaches are afraid to get in that mix a little bit. Yeah. It's almost like dating. You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't want to be told no by the pretty girl, so you kind of settle for what you know you can get. You know, metaphorically speaking. What you think, Dad?
I just think, I mean, HBCUs, I think is good for a lot of different reasons. I remember when I decided to go, I actually wanted to go to HBCU. I wanted to go to Southern in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where my brother was going to school. And, I was a multi-sport player. I played baseball and basketball. I had offers in both baseball and basketball, and had opportunity to go get drafted in baseball. I was at Harlan on the south side. I started out at Leo, then I went to Harlan. And that's why I wanted to go with Southern. And they had a nice baseball program, but for different reasons, at the time, and I know now, it just is, and they stopped it. I think they even put a thing, only so many people from Chicago they allowed down there.
Oh, wow.
They would do things like that. People didn't know, but behind the scenes, they would get you to come, but they would only take, because I think at that time, back in the early 90s, it was Chicago and Detroit. They was invading Southern, and they were kind of, it was a lot of riffraff and stuff down the right.
That's Alabama State.
Yeah, so you already know. It was a guy by the name of Silas Parnell, and I'm sure people that hear this podcast, they'll know he was at A.S. McKinley, and they used to go on black college visits and get you free scholarship monies and everything else, and they would help you do all these things. I mean, it's a lot more exposure to that now, but back then, that's what went on. And the thing is when once they know, they knew you were getting these, they just kind of he ain't coming.
He ain't coming.
And so they didn't put the time and the energy and the money into it.
And I think sometimes they're making a mistake because some of these HBCUs, again, funding aside, because I think that the huge issue a lot of times when it comes to being able to present to a parent to get their high level school is funding, right? These Power 5 schools got, and now we're in the NIL era, and some the HBCUs is they just can't handle. And so, but I do think that a lot of HBCU coaches, it's like I might as well just kind of play in this pool over here because they not willing to leverage those relationships. See, me, I feel like I could sell ice to an Eskimo. So if I'm at an HBCU, you got to tell me no because I'm gonna keep coming.
I mean, I know this is kind of just way out there, but you know who could solve that problem?
Who's that?
The same people who, if you watch anything, because I follow Southern, but like the Bayou Classic, or any major like the big tournaments they have, when you see a commercial, what's the first company you think that comes to mind?
Subway.
Like a white company.
Coca-Cola.
Oh yeah.
They always doing it, or McDonald's.
McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? Because they leveraging our communities.
So here's my thing. But when you look at it, it's really peanuts they putting back in.
Yeah.
But imagine
if Coca-Cola
got involved with a couple of those HBCUs
and provided them funding
and created that NIL and took care and took care of those things.
You're right.
Other people do it, but imagine if they did that with some of the HBCUs.
Now we're talking. We're cooking with grease now. Yeah.
Are you really behind us? Yeah. If you behind us, why don't you take 2 or 3 of them and put some real funding behind it?
That's a diversity program right there. Yeah, that's how you do that.
And you can even write it off in your company as a diversity type thing too.
Yeah, so I mean, it's different ways. I mean, I didn't even think that's not a bad. I can't. I love the game and I just put it to you this way. Not to get off of what we're talking about here, but the way Deion, and I'll say this, I know people are going to talk about me from left to right.
Zoom in on you.
Deion Sanders and what he's doing for college football made Nick Saban retire.
I agree.
I 100% agree.
I agree.
And I'm gonna take it a step further. You know who I think is on his way out the door because of the whole thing? I think Gino Marietta. He's on his way out.
He's got
they do not like the fact. Now this, I don't think this is a pure black-white thing, but I do know that they do not like that the leverage now is in the athlete's hands.
Well, you could say it's not a black-white thing, but let me just tell you something. At the end of the day,
it's a black-white thing.
It's a black-white thing. Not necessarily saying they're it's something that they don't like it because but they're losing their players to a Deion Sanders. They've got all the success. I mean, just go ahead and walk away. Like Ariema said something in one of his things the other day about where they pay.
You can't coach them and you can't
coach them. Well, guess what? They were being paid before the NIL came in, so you could coach them then. The difference is it's a different
on top of the table now.
Everybody can see it.
So all of the people who were doing all of the
back end,
the bags and all that, it's even playing field now. Everybody got a bag. So now, because they don't really deal with the players, it's the assistants.
I'll even go ahead and say this, and I'll be the one to say it. So there ain't nobody kind of coming at dad when it comes down the line or him. Is that to your point? The game, basketball and football, hell, even baseball, we catching up in. The majority of the athletes are African American. I don't know the percentages, but it's over 60.
Baseball is a little different though. I can tell you that it ain't a lot of blacks in baseball.
No, it's not.
They confuse you. But if you go get it, the Dominicans and different nationalities, they're not going to do that. But I will say this: when I was coming out, baseball scholarships was peanuts. That was why I took a Division I basketball scholarship because it paid full ride. Baseball was the most you got was just paid for tuition back then. Now they got it so it used to be a time where a lot of the universities didn't even come into the city at all to recruit baseball players. If you were good, you went into the draft, and if not, you probably went to a junior college and then you went on. But it was very few. And I want to give praise to a guy I'm sure you heard with the White Sox ACE program, Kenny Fullman for that.
Yes.
And Rob Fletcher, they had that ACE program, and they both went to HBCUs. Kenny went to Kentucky State, and my teammate Robert Fletcher went to Grambling.
Interesting.
And so they do the ACE White Sox program.
I'm familiar.
And now all those guys are getting Division I scholarships.
And shout out to them.
We didn't. When I came out, it wasn't really no Division I scholarships like that. You either went JUCO or you went pro.
Either one.
That was what you did. Yep.
Shout out to the White Sox program. I'm definitely interested in speaking with them guys soon because I'd love for my youngest son to play baseball. I did the basketball thing already, so now my youngest boy.
If you live in the neighborhood, we all played, even the Irvins. We played at Jackie Robinson West Little.
I know.
Shout out to my. I have to give a shout out to my guy, Bill Haley over there.
Okay. Shout out to them.
I have to, because he's to the
entire program. They're doing great things in that neighborhood. Great things. So far, Alex, who has been your favorite coach that you've spoken with and why? Out of all the schools that have offered that you've had an opportunity to have a conversation, who's been your favorite? Not to say, coach, if he names a name, this ain't saying you ain't got no leg up. He just enjoyed talking to you.
Right.
All right, let's just be crystal clear about that.
Like a legit talk to talk. I can't say one. I could give like a couple.
Okay,
that's
cool.
So like head coach, Ohio State.
Okay,
definitely. Coach, I just got off the phone. Florida State, Hamilton. Head coach Tom Izzo, Coach
Interesting.
Izzo,
Okay.
Yeah, he funny too.
Is
People
he?
think
Okay.
he all straight. Nah, he a funny guy for sure. And trying to think. Coach from Xavier, head coach from Xavier.
Sean.
Yeah,
Coach Sean Miller.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. I don't know why that doesn't surprise me. Sean Miller looks like he's a fun guy to talk to.
Yeah. Nah, he knows what he's talking about too.
Okay.
And I say them. And I gotta say Coach Wilson.
Oh, from Indiana. Okay.
Coach Wilson.
Okay. Shout out to Coach Wilson.
Yeah. But if I miss any more name, trust it ain't.
It ain't personal.
Yeah.
It ain't personal.
Give me a call. I got you.
What are 3 things that will factor into your decision when you get to that point of deciding?
Like I said earlier, just straight out the bat, number 1, like relationships.
Okay.
Number 2, winning organization or university. I say organization, like.
I mean, that's what they are. But go ahead. I know what you meant. Go ahead.
All right. So winning team, and 3. 3, I kind of, what I say? I already said staff and relationship, but really like how they are organized, how it is. Like that's why it's different from like when you talking to them, but actually being there on a visit,
seeing it.
Yeah. So like when you really there, and then you also see how the players are. Like every time I go on a visit, I always ask the players like what it is for. Like when the coach is not there. Like I'm talking to the player face to face, 1-on-1 about the situation.
Do they keep it 100 with you?
Oh, they keep it 100 every time.
Okay.
Like for real though. Like I wouldn't even expect it like that, but that's how these players are.
So. Will knowing that you're from Chicago, the weather and all that, will weather and climate play a role in your decision?
Nah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was trying to see if you said that like, okay, we're the warm weather schools on this list. All right, cool. So it won't.
Nah.
All right. This is a question that I love to ask the players. Scout yourself. What type of player are you? What type of player would a college be getting in Aleks Alston?
A player that could just play through 1 through 5. Someone that will do whatever he can to win the game. Whether it's me taking the last shot, me getting someone open, me being a decoy just for someone else to get their groove on, like that's cool. But you're gonna get me running the floor. You're gonna get me using my length to my advantage against everybody else. You're gonna get me, when there needs to be showtime, there's gonna be showtime. Definitely, getting my shot out, creating my own shot. Being a playmaker. So, and especially attitude-wise, like I'm definitely gonna be there. For the head coach. And my thing is, I'm not one of them players that just, don't say nothing. Nah, if I see something, I want to tell my head coach, let him know, because I'm out there too. So,
you had that autonomy to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I feel like that's what a head coach needs. They might not say it, because how some coaches,
it's my way or no way type of thing.
But like
not always what you say is how you say it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, just tell my coach, maybe he might not agree, but just letting him know, like, hey, over there he missing this position right here. He open right here. He got a little man on him on the switch, just saying little things like that. So.
You talked early on about your progress and development when you first went to Kenwood and how that process went. So my next question is just kind of interested in that. Will the opportunity for immediate player time, will that play a factor in your decision?
It's a yes and no situation.
Okay, that's
fair.
fair.
It's like if you telling me that, of course I got all ears. But I mean, if we gonna keep it 100, you gotta work for your spot. Like that's just what it is. Like it ain't no guarantee. Like you hear all the good, but when you get there, you ain't got that work ethic and to play hard and do what you got to do, because it's a whole nother ball game. You playing against dudes 23, 24, got
25,
kids,
26, right.
Carrying his kid to the game in a stroller or whatever.
Right.
Nah, but like I'm saying though, like for real though, like it's definitely different. And the reason why I'm saying that, because I first had a thought like that. Like I'm not going nowhere. I'm sitting on the bench and all this and that. But when it really clicked in when I started going on these visits and actually being recruited hard and by these top schools in the country, and realizing like, all right, this life thing ain't no joke. Like this real life, this your future. So like looking at that and like really, seeing they could talk good, and you love to hear that. But why they talking good like that? Because they expect you to work hard up to the potential that they looking at. So it's like when you see something like that, it's like, all right, so they giving me what they think if I do what I'm supposed to do, where I'm gonna be at for that team.
Your response to that question and a couple others gives a microcosmic peek into your mature thinking. That when you listening to him talk, like I don't know if you're paying attention to me, but I'm paying attention to you.
Yeah, no, I'm paying attention
So,
to him listening.
like, walk me through your thoughts when he's talking.
So it goes back to the question you asked me earlier when you were saying how I saw him and everything else. And I hope that you guys get a lot of people watching this podcast so they understand, because this is what's going on now in grade school basketball, high school basketball here in the city, college. Everybody wants their child to be a star their freshman year.
Right.
Okay? And then as a coach, I coached the JV program. I had it for the first 3 years. I gave it up this past year because I wanted to put more time into my son. I've given everybody else's.
Sometimes you got
He's a special talent.
Yeah.
Well, I believe that my son is a special talent and will be able to make it at the next level. So therefore, I got to start putting, just like I put my time into other people and help them get there.
I want to be a part of that.
I'm going to do it for mine.
Yeah.
And so his freshman year, and I'll never forget this, he almost cried to me about going on a road trip with varsity, because he dressed varsity and he played JV with me. And he said, I don't want to go. I said, no, you going to dress varsity? He said, no, I'm on JV. I don't want. I said, you going to get your tail dressed, sit out there, play varsity, and you're going to learn. It's faster. You're going to see what's going on. I want you to learn. And then they started going on the road. He would have to go out of town without me. Go on the road. I say, you be a teammate. You learn. You do what you got to do. Because guess what? It's going to be your shit later. He didn't understand it at first. But then all of a sudden, as we were going, he understood it. He probably averaged maybe 5 minutes the whole first year on varsity. Complete at about 30 games. Maybe 5 minutes total.
Nah, like 3. I had a career high too. I had 3 points, 1 assist. I'll mess with that.
So how difficult was that for you? Hearing your dad talk about that development early on, how difficult was that for you?
I mean, to be honest, it's kind of crazy. Like, I ain't really care. Like, I was in that point of life, like basketball, I love the game, and you can't cheat the game. And it's like, to me, it was just playing JV. I'm playing for my dad. Like, I didn't care about nothing else. Like, all these people doubt my pops, and it's like,
we won city championship.
Winning that city championship, no one can tell me nothing. They talking about that's JV. I said, I don't care. Like, did
winners
y'all
win?
Right?
Winners
like,
win.
Did y'all win city? Nah, like
And
I don't care.
Yeah, so then that next summer, I told him this is what we gonna do, and we did different things. We changed his workout regimen, and that second year, it was JV. He played both during the summer.
Right.
And I saw what was happening in the JV games. He was so frustrated because he would get double, triple team, and I had in my mind, I said, he's not gonna be able to play with me because he's not gonna be able to get better if they just double and triple him. See, most people just think points. All they see is points. How can he get better with his skill set and other things if he's always being double and triple team? Well, he just got to get a ball up because he plays the right way.
That happened to me before.
He plays the right way. But on varsity, we had Day Ames. We had Solomon Mosley. We had Tyler Smith. So now he's out there, in the first 3 games, he barely saw the floor. And I never forget this. I got angry. They was like, man, you should get him more minutes on JV. And I said, if we can't figure out how to get him in a game, in play, on varsity, then he don't need to be here. And the next time around, it was one of those things that happened. I don't know if they did it because they wanted to prove me wrong, or they did it because he deserved it. But they put him in the starting lineup, and he went for 16 and 7 over at Lindblom, and he stayed in the starting lineup on varsity ever since.
That's crazy. I ain't gonna lie.
And until he got hurt, he had a big first team all Proviso West as a sophomore, hit 8 threes in a game, and it created a way for our team. It was special because you had Day who can break anybody down and score at will.
At will.
And if they doubled him, his stats started going up as assists, and he would kick out, and then Alex would hit the jump shot, and it just opened he spread the floor. And so it just happened so fast. And then when he got hurt, it was like boom. And so now it was like, we got to take another route. But here again, it's like his guys playing, ain't nothing I can do about this, and we'll figure it out.
Alex, you talked about, or just hearing you and your dad talk about just your overall development to where you are currently now as you sit here. Do you love the game?
I don't know. Is there something like more than love, like above that? Like, I don't even know how to really explain it. Like, I don't know. It's like, I guess ever since I was 2 years old, you said I shot my first basketball. I think it was like a picture, but man, beyond that, like, I feel like that's my life. Like, I breathe that, and I know, and it's like from Coach Izzo. I'm just bringing that up. Like, that's his like word, right? Isn't it like, you either like it, love it, and live it. So and it's like I live it. Like, I know I'm still 16, going on 17. I haven't played as much basketball as these grown people now they in the league and stuff, but it's just a different feeling when I'm out there. It's like a lot of people say it, like they be like, yeah, everything goes away, you play that game, but it's like it's more of that to me. It's like just at one with the game. Everything you work hard for is just right there in front of you, and it's for you to just go get it and take it. So,
what has been your best moment so far in high school, on and off the court?
Yeah, just in general.
Just in general. Mm-hmm.
Like no basketball.
You can include both.
I mean, what did you say again?
So, what has been your best moment on and off the court? So, like
moment.
generally, as far as a high school student, and then on the court, obviously as a player.
I'll say off the court. Off the court, probably transition into that, the Kenwood, like being in a school like that, like and because 8th grade I was a COVID year, so like it wasn't in school, so I forgot about all that because the only time I was really in school was the beginning of 7th grade, because then the next half we went straight computer. So probably that, like my freshman year, like that was really fun, like
that whole like
yeah. So it's like then you see, I'm just be honest, like then you see like the older people now they going to college, like you looking up to them. I was looking down on them, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh shoot, like all right, shoot, I'm in high school. What do I do? Like where do I walk at? Like and like it's funny because like now it's like the first day of me going to school as a freshman. My thing was always like, oh shit, I gotta be on class on time. I got a locker, and now it's like I don't need no locker. Like I'm junior, I don't need no locker. I just got my book bag, and I hear kids in the morning talking about, come on, like the freshmen, because now I'm a junior. I'm like, they like, come on, we can't be late to class. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, damn,
that used to be you.
Yeah, that used to be me. But it's like crazy, like they not lying about that. High school go by quick,
very fast.
After that freshman year, like I'm telling you,
it was a blur.
I'm in the second semester junior. I'm like, what, like. School just started, but then on the court, like my favorite moment, is probably, I don't really have a huge memory on it, but like I say when it like really clicked on where basketball can take you, it was that Proviso West my sophomore year. Like after that performance and everything like that, it's just like everything open. Like I had like little kids ask for pictures, like autograph. I had a janitor that was a janitor for Proviso West walk up to me, can I get a picture? Like, and that's crazy because he's retiring, and he came up to me again this year telling me, let me get this picture. I remember you from last year.
Oh, wow.
So it's just, so like I feel like that's my favorite on court. I know that's kind of off the court, but it's really
no. I mean, those are good. Those are, first of all, the fact that just using the janitor and the kids as an example, the fact that you are able to regurgitate those memories, right, for you or for them, if they ever see this or when they see this, like that's gonna be big. Like you were able to remember that. You have no idea how much a memory means to somebody. Like, your perception of the memory versus their perception of the memory, but the memory itself is what people remember. And so for you to remember that, like that's really, really dope.
Yeah, it really come from like, not because y'all.
No, you're fine.
Like a lot of kids, now they use a thing like, D-Ride and all that.
Right.
So it's like, me, I was like with the basketball, right? So I was kind of growing up in middle school around JJ and Dede Nook. So it's like I was watching them getting all that love, and it's like I never thought to myself, you know, because I was in that, you know, time where, you know, I didn't really think basketball was really like for me, even though I loved it so much. I just felt like I wasn't like that because I was seeing how much they was getting all this love freshman, sophomore, and when I'm a freshman, I'm coming in and I start. So it's like, you know what, like. So when I started seeing that and then all it started to hit me, it was like, oh shoot, like this happened to me now. So it's kind of like, dang, like I ain't think, and now I understand, like this make you want to keep going. So like just having that, I feel like that's the difference between, you know, like they ain't lying when the fan base, you know, when you start getting the kind of fan base, like in Serbia right now, like they say I'm in the news all over. Like I ain't never thought of that to even happen or click in my head. Like I got little kids on my Instagram, like on the pictures and stuff. So it's like, it just shows me like how much the game will treat you well back, you know, all the right. You can't cheat the game. Like you just can't do it. Like, so it's like, it's just,
that's deep.
Shows a lot. Yeah.
That's super deep, man. Yeah. That's super deep. I got so many spawned off questions in my brain that like it's hurting my brain that I want to ask your dad because I'm listening to him talk, man, and it's
a lot of knowledge.
It's a lot of knowledge.
For sure.
And so when you so I mean this is your son, and I know that, you know,
I'm very proud of.
I just want to say this though, it really clicked in. To be honest, from the injury, like. Injury,
you started missing it.
Everything.
That's where Xavier's at. When the whole year was taken from him,
like,
and so like now he's seeing it. Even me, like I'm so.
Dad, how did you feel as a dad? Like when he got hurt.
First of all,
ain't nothing you can do.
I was very emotional.
Yeah.
He had tore his ACL last year.
Oh man.
December the 8th.
Senior. That's why
his senior year.
That's why we didn't get a chance to play him
in the playoff game.
We went to Oak Lawn first round.
Right,
it was at Rich Township.
Yeah, you though. I thought, right?
He happened during the season.
It happened during the season. Yeah, December the 8th.
Oh, when we was down there in Oak Lawn, you said Oak Lawn?
The game was at Rich Township.
This is when you was hurt. Because he
couldn't play.
No, he didn't play. He had. So to answer your question, it was very emotional for me, but for two reasons, which some people know, some people don't, and I'll tell you why. It was very emotional for me for the obvious. He was hurt. Initially, we didn't know how serious it was. It was just more of a hyperextension. Yeah. But Xavier did what most kids would do. He downplayed the injury. He convinced me to let him play way sooner than he should. And this is one of the not so many times where I'll go on record as admitting I should have listened to his mother. I should have listened to my wife. So he got hurt December the 8th. Xavier went through a few days of like icing, rehabbing, or whatever. He was back on the court, I think like the 17th against Lemont, and re-injured it. But between that span, it was like something wasn't right. Something wasn't right. And when he got re-injured, we finally got the MRI. But in between that span, my wife was like, just keep him out until the Christmas, even not even that, until the Christmas tournament, which is after Christmas, which would have technically given us 3 weeks. But in that 3 week time, I would have got a better gauge of maybe forcing of getting the MRI. And so I made the mistake of not doing that and letting Xavier convince me he was fine. I'm good. And so he re-injured it. So the second part of the emotional aspect was I failed him as a father. And the one thing that, again, way down the line when you become a father, the one thing that a good father never wants to be known for or self-feel is failing their children. And I failed him. Like I didn't put my foot down. I should have listened to I had so many doubts and what if moments that I felt like not him, that I cost him his senior year. Where Xavier started his senior year, like I'm talking
killing.
He killed
I was seeing
Mount
a lot
Carmel.
Of video.
He was killing. He was killing. So
he had a fire in him.
He
wanted to show. It was almost like he had check marks. All right, I got you this game. I got you this game.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
So
that's exactly what it was.
Here's the thing, from a distance, because and I'm gonna go back into being a college coach and how I knew certain things, but it leads back to him.
Mm-hmm.
But I watched him. I watched his progression. I watched the things he was doing. I knew he had it in him, and I'm talking about your son.
I know.
I knew he had it in him, but it was a matter of especially at this level and with COVID, who was gonna take a chance?
Right.
That's what it was for him.
Yeah, who's gonna take the chance? And so, behind the scenes, I'm actually one of those people that a lot of coaches call and say, "What you think about this kid? What you think about that kid? Hey, we need this. Who's available? Blah 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 blah." So he was one of those guys. I'm like, "You need to go see him." This is when you start talking about diamonds in the rough. This is one of them. And a lot of people are afraid they ain't gonna pull it because a lot of Illinois schools, they don't pull it. They won't. Even the small Division I schools want the high major kids.
Right.
You're not gonna get them.
Wow.
Get what you can, develop them and turn them into something.
I started finding out different things. To your point, and thank you for that. Thank you.
Yeah.
I started finding out that I was starting to feel, and I was being told that a lot of it had to do with me. Just putting just the platform and just kind of being boisterous.
So guess what? Everything that you've done, that I've seen that you've done, other people were doing. Here's the catch.
Go ahead.
Competition is a motherfucker.
Oh yeah, it is. It is, and a lot of people didn't like I wasn't from here.
Yeah, but competition is something else.
Yeah.
But what you did, you was doing it for your son.
I make no bones about that.
Yeah, that's and I get it, and that's what you were doing. So other people,
that's what it was. Oh, he only doing this because of his son or for his son.
But see, a real person would know that you only doing it for your son. But guess what? It's benefiting the community.
Everybody.
Everybody. Yeah.
So and now your son is gone, and
I'm still
doing this. So the reality is you shut a lot of people up.
It was a deep thing, but you know what? It's just going to make him stronger. Right. It definitely made me stronger, but it really kind of made me look in the mirror and just really appreciate what I am doing and know that that I'm a part of this culture.
Right. You are.
I'm a part of this culture.
Exposure Runs is a part of Chicago culture.
For sure.
So let me go back because I remember real fast. I'm gonna go to it. I was coaching college ball, and in my first year of coaching college ball, I won a national championship as an assistant coach at a junior college. And then from there, I was interviewing, getting ready to take a Division I assistant job, and then I saw the underbelly of it, where somebody came in and kind of like did some stuff and threw some dirt, and then I had the job. It was promised to me and everything else by the head coach, and then they ghosted me. Made a phone call. They called me on my cell phone because back then, if you had a cell phone, you had one. Yeah. But and usually your company paid for it. But then I had the voicemail at the house on the regular phone. So when they called my cell phone and they heard that I was driving or whatever, they thought I was driving somewhere. I picked up. They called my home phone. And then they called my home phone and left a message. All in all, I was there. But I listened because I wanted to see what the thing was. And so after that, I came back home, helped my grandparents. One of them passed or whatever. And I started doing some other things here. And then I helped my cousin build Moraine Valley Community College. His name was Dedrick Shannon.
Okay.
And we became real successful over there. Sent a couple of pros out of there. Went to the national tournament a couple of years, and then I came and began a part of the Fire and helped them do a lot of stuff when the EYBL first took off. Now, I always would tell myself, what is it? I get offered these jobs, and I couldn't leave, and then I had a son, and I was like, man, I can't go because if I leave,
who knows?
I can't leave. And so. And at the time, it was one of those things where it just hit me, me and his mom had divorced and everything was just going, and I was just like, I can't leave. I got a job offer, money was right, but I couldn't leave. And all I ever wanted to do was teach and coach, and I wanted to be in Division I, and I had the opportunities, getting calls to do it, but I couldn't leave. And so that's when it really hit me. And, when I was coaching with the Fire, I had Jabari, Jaleel, Jalen Brunson. We had all. I mean, every year, so I was getting offers because I was with, with them kids. We was kicking it. It wasn't just for them. We had other kids. You talking about the heyday when Morgan Park was winning state championships. You talking when Simeon. I mean, everybody was winning, but we had. And see, people don't even realize that the group that we had when we had Jalen Brunson was a bunch of suburban 6'5", 6'6" guys. They all played together. We just beat the shit out of everybody. Won Vegas. I mean, did stuff. We didn't even win some of those tournaments with some of the other big heralded players. But Jalen Brunson was a winner then.
He came from Villanova, so I'm very familiar with Jalen.
He was a winner then. And one of the guys that gave him the nickname, you'll see it sometime, Nick Irvin gave him the nickname the closer. Because it wasn't a game. If it was a close game, get him the ball, man, spread the floor and let him work his magic. And that's what he did. But as it went on, I kept asking, man, why me? Why me? I got all the connections. I coached. I won at all levels. Here I am. This. Why? I want to coach Division I basketball. Why? Why won't you give me opportunity? This thing?
Yeah.
And that's when it hit me. All the stuff I've been through, I probably coached. I mean, a lot of assistants that's out there. At the time, I coached more McDonald's All-Americans with the Fire and being around than some of the guys of the schools that I was going to. I had the connections, East Coast and West Coast, because I coached down in Oklahoma. I was in Louisiana. I had a bevy of places to go. But then I kept thinking, why me? Wasn't about me. It was about him. So when everybody else was trying to tell me he ain't shit, he too slow, he can't do that, I already knew. Just give it time.
Experience told you.
Give it time. He's slow now. He got to grow into his body. He got to do this. He got to do that. And even now, people still doubt him.
Which is wild.
It's going
to come. And when it does, and for me, it goes back to what we talked about earlier. Nothing's more important to me than the love of my city. Now, if your city turn on you, that's one thing. But it wasn't nothing like. I can remember high school basketball when I was in 7th and 8th grade, getting ready to go to high school. It was King and it was Simeon. That's who ran it for me. I can remember putting the hanger. You see, we used to take
open the hanger on the closet door.
Cut out a winter hat, stub cap. That was my net, and with a sock. Sometimes we used to have balloons, and we would. The way we lived, stayed in apartments. You would go through the dining room in order to get to the kitchen. So the kitchen was one rim. The hallway going through the dining room was the other one.
Used to drive my mother crazy.
And this story, for some, it'll make people remember. I never forget. It's like, I can see it still to this day. I cut up, what do you call that thing?
The white beaters?
No, because the wife beater would have been perfect. But I didn't have wife beaters. We didn't wear white beaters as kids back then.
Yeah, we did. We did.
I had Long Johns. And I cut the Long John up and made a jersey with Simeon 25.
That way.
Ben Wilson. Because I followed him around. And I did the little stripe. They had the blue and gold stripes. So I had the blocks on the side, and I was Benji.
Wow.
And so that's what we saw. And then when I was in 7th and 8th grade, it was King. King was the castle. Why? Because I had a buddy of mine, they went to CVS, his name was Vernell Brenton, he was being recruited by King, and they had Jamie Brandon and Johnny Selby and all those guys.
Coming up next.
And so now, when I tell you that, I can remember when they was at Beasley and went to Beale, all of the stuff, because I grew up over on 57th and Wabash, over by Carter Playground, and being at Washington Park, and so I remember all that stuff. And so it was just, Chicago basketball, it's like a cult.
It is. No, it's not like it's not like
it is.
It means so much to me, and to see, because I had him in the suburbs. We was in Romeoville, and then I moved. When I got divorced, I moved to the city. I brought him back to Chicago, knowing that this is what I would. If nothing else, this is gonna make him the player he's gonna become.
He needed that in his blood.
Yeah, for sure.
Because this was his lineage. And this was his thing.
Yeah.
And so you come to Chicago and you deal with my longtime friends, the Irvins, and this is how I got started. And so sky's the limit, but that was God told me that it was for him.
That's what's up.
And so that's where that goes.
Alex, you are currently one of the ESPN top 60. I mentioned you were number 11 in the region, number 2 in the state. Prep Hoops has you ranked number 4. What do rankings mean?
And let me fix that because I saw it. I didn't want ESPN top 60 because I know when people see it, they're gonna start hating and go.
Man, you
No. What I'm saying is this: he's not in the top 60. He's not in the ESPN top 60.
Oh, okay.
When you go look it up, ESPN ranks only the top 60 players in the 2025 class.
Okay.
So now, but however, because ESPN ranks all of the kids, you know, he was in the top 100 camp. He was
Right.
So if you look at him, he's just outside of that 60.
Okay.
And so the reality is, if you look him up, he's number 11 in the region on ESPN rankings, and he is
2 spots.
number 2 in the state according to ESPN rankings.
Man, I just want to say this. Man.
And I wasn't going to correct it. I don't give a fuck what these
I know.
people think. I got you.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What do you think? Go ahead. It's almost. Hold on. It's almost rant time. It's almost rant time. But go ahead.
I do that because I'm humble, and I want him to be humble.
I understand.
You know,
what's your thoughts on these
I'm
rankings?
always humble. All I gotta say is like, all these rankings, all that, you got these people sitting at a computer trying to evaluate 16, 17-year-olds and all this, or what they is right now and all this and that. That stuff don't mean nothing when you get between them lines. So all I gotta say is this is like 2 years, next year, we're gonna be going to college. Nobody gonna go back to no prep hoops and go look at what they was ranked in the state. Like no one gonna go to 247, go look at what they ranked at. Like none of that gonna matter. You got people top 25 in the country, where they at now? Like not everybody gonna get drafted, not everybody, like that's just the truth of it. So it's like, it's just you gotta keep working. Nobody care about that. Them people who don't even hoop trying to rank you and try to say what you is. Like,
Can I?
ain't got time.
He segued me?
He segued you right in.
He segued me right in.
Like-
Yeah, because that's exactly what I needed. I have a certain level of respect for some of these guys that do it because they have played or they pay attention.
Yeah, no disrespect.
No, none.
Yeah, no disrespect.
Let me do
That's
that.
your job, you know?
Right. Everybody got a job. Right.
Right.
My point is, it does extremely bother me when you have, I don't care if they work for ESPN or 247 or On 3 or Prep Hoops. I have a huge issue on these people who are sitting behind their computers who have never played the game on no level. I'm talking from what y'all call it, grammar school to high school to no level. Like, what you do is you either watching the stream or you get your fat ass out to a game and you got Diet Coke, a bunch of chocolate, and pizza, eating that shit while you trying to rank 16 and 17.
And you know what pissed me off the most? Like, this what really pissed me off, right? So I go out to a game in Bolingbrook, and if you watch this, I'm just letting you know, like, you messed up, bro. But I go to Bolingbrook, and I go watch the game with my dad and his friend out there. So we in the area. Let's go watch the game. And I think they was playing Romeoville.
Okay.
And I know Romeoville lost, but my boy TJ, he played for Romeoville too. So I was going to watch the game after the game. So I'm standing around, and you know how I said, like, usually, like, now it's kind of different. You always getting approached and stuff.
Yep.
So, I'm used to that type of stuff, right? So, I'm saying what's up, little kids and stuff, and then, a couple reporters, hey, you go Kenwood, this and that. All right, that's cool. So one of the reporters, he came up to me, and it was like, I don't get how he was. He was like, yeah, you're Alex, right? Okay, yeah. And he was trying to talk to me about the game and stuff. And you know me, I'm never gonna, like, be disrespectful. I was raised right, so I'm not saying that you're not raised, but I'm just saying, you know how it is. So I'm being respectful. I'm answering your questions. All right, this and that, and he's still talking and stuff, and then now he trying to compare. So I'm like, wait a minute, like, why you trying to compare other players, trying to say if I'm better than this player, better than this player and all that? Like, I ain't here to answer no questions about that. Like, you asking me about a game, I talk about the game. When he getting all into it, like, he's like, what's your name? And I'm like, you just said my name, Alex, a couple seconds ago. Like, what you talking about? Like, that type of stuff. So then you know, I was like, all right, so that's cool. You know, you talking and stuff, and I just got to a point, and it was my first time ever doing it. But it was like, I'm not gonna sit here and just let you. Now you trying to talk bad about my teammate.
Yeah, you baiting
so
me.
He baiting me, right? Mm-hmm. And he got his phone. He think he's slick. He got that mug right here. So I'm like, whoa, like that's crazy how these people are now.
That's a sample size.
So I walk off. So I walk off, and now he talking about, now he's mad. I'm like, that's crazy. Like for me, it's like, wow. Like when did it get to a point like this? You know.
Yeah, but those are that's local stuff.
Yeah. So I was about to say that's a sample size of what you will possibly have to deal with at any of these schools, particularly if they are Power 5. That's number one. Number two is first of all, we living in a clickbait era with social media and the internet. The internet is way too powerful. Then we also living in an era where some of these people, and I won't even, as much as I want to, I'm not going to, but we living in an era where unfortunately people are always looking to tear down just our community. Just our community. And then you can read between the lines of however you want. And it's very frustrating to see that, like to hear that and just kind of put myself in that space that you probably were in. Had you said anything wrong, that would have been the biggest story coming out of the state of how you treated him. And I think it's so corny that these reporters and these bloggers get a chance to do that. And also don't take for granted the fact that he kind of caught you in that space without your dad there, because your pop probably would have rocked his ass. So
he was over there walking and stuff. So it's like,
but that's what people. That's what I'm saying. Like so, like they try to do that because they know, like sometimes they know that, you know, our children are protected in a certain circle, and they wouldn't get an opportunity to do or even ask some of those questions, whether directly or indirectly, tone wise or clickbait wise, if your dad was within the earshot of that or in the immediate vicinity. They do stuff like that, and it's. Do you think college coaches, hearing your answer, which was a fantastic answer, do you think college coaches really pay attention to these rankings when it comes to the offers?
No.
And you don't think they pay attention? Okay.
Like, of course they're going to look at the ranking because it's like, all right, now this is a player to look at.
Okay.
You know, he up there, all right, let's see why he up there.
Okay,
right?
okay.
But at the end of the day, I got college coaches telling me, like, cover them, like, you what in the country? Nah, you speak top 25. I don't know what that. So like they don't even care about that. They going off what they looking at.
What they see.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not even gonna say no names, but it's like some of these rankings top in the country. I'm out here playing against these dudes, guarding these dudes, bro. They not even like that. Like, I ain't even trying to throw no shit. Like no
shit.
Look,
it's real.
they top of the country.
A lot of stuff, but it's real.
No, they top of the country for sure.
Yeah.
I'm laughing too with you, but they top of the country, right? All right, they top of the country. But dude ain't no 15 in the country. Dude ain't no 25 in the country, bro. Like, ain't no way.
It's so funny that you say that, right? I've reached out to somebody today, and one of the players that Prep Hoops does have above you is one of our guys. Like he a friend to the show. Great young man. Great young man. And I'm not going to name any young man. But when he told me where Aleks was at number 4, I said, well, who's the other 3? So he sends me the other 3. And one of the 3, I'm like, shout out to my nigga Gucci. Like, just thinking about that interview, like, when people was like, Gucci was better than Eminem, I'm like, all right, cool, if that's what y'all think. Like, I don't see it, but, and this is a good play. There ain't no diss to him, but, I mean, I don't see it, but, all right, cool. Between last year and this year, who was the toughest player that you had to guard? Who gave you buckets? Give them their flowers.
This year?
Between last year and this year, so far this year.
Last year and this year?
Who was the toughest player you had to guard?
I mean, I haven't. To be honest, I'm not like the defense that we play. To be honest, I don't really like guard nobody one-on-one.
Okay.
The people that I do guard, you know, my position. Like I'm not really like we really. It's really like a lot of point guards.
Are you talking about in the city, or are you talking about nationally?
Now, you talking about period?
Because when you go to camps or you play on the circuit,
okay.
I'm talking about period.
That's what he's saying.
Like, who's the toughest person you had to guard?
Toughest I had to guard. Dang, that's tough. Who
you think?
Let me just say this. He guarded him a little bit, then he didn't have to. But I would say What's the from Florida, the Boozer twins?
Oh,
He ain't.
That game, no, because you had him a couple of times.
Yeah, but
then you had. I mean, you had different people, but that game there, because that was a big time game. He had 15 points and like 6 or 7 rebounds in that game.
All right.
And it was down. I think we played them in Atlanta, and that was a big thing. We was playing the Night Riders.
You're not talking about Peach Jam?
No, I'm talking about the first game. Not the Peach Jam game. The first game that was in Atlanta.
Okay.
And they ended up winning the Peach Jam, didn't they?
No, yeah, they won Peach Jam 2 years in a row.
Yeah, it was them and the guy Cooper Flag.
Yeah, Cooper.
Yeah, because Cooper, but you didn't match up too much with Cooper.
No, he had 7 though. So
yeah.
When you think about games that you've played against, when you are matched up, I know you said from a Kenwood standpoint, the defense that y'all play usually is kind of more of a group effort.
Yeah.
How would you describe your defense? Like, are you aggressive? Do you like to kind of read and react? Like, what type of defender is Aleks?
I'll just say in general though, like, I feel like, of course, I'm just keeping it 100. Like, I'm not the guy where you got the best player out there. You want me to guard him right away. Nah, I feel like I'm still developing myself on defense.
Fair enough.
I'm just keeping it 100.
Fair enough.
I gotta use. See, I'm long and stuff, so it's not like someone get a shot over me. I feel like I'm really good with that. Stop from getting shot. But my thing is, getting to a point where, I could guard the big guy down there in the post, all this, but, I'm a wing as well. So I got to get better because I know at the next level, these people, they're going to be putting me on smaller people. So I got to get myself ready, and that's what I'm still working on, just getting myself ready to guard 1 through 5. Like I said, 2 through 5.
Okay. So. Fair enough. Who was BBQ Chicken? Who you gave buckets to? Give me a player and or a team that you gave buckets to.
I gave buckets to Demaje. I say him.
Okay.
He know it.
Okay, fair enough.
And then you said team. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Well, I just said recent perspectives.
Okay.
I just gave buckets to them.
Okay.
But Mount Carmel. Yeah, we just been balling.
Okay,
I ain't gonna lie.
right,
We just been balling.
Fair enough. I
ain't no specific, but I just.
I did have. I'm gonna look real quick. I had written down. You gave Perspectives 21, 11, 5, and 4. You gave.
I ain't gonna lie. That was crazy.
It was
4 steals too.
Yeah, well, I got 4 blocks. They had 4 blocks.
It's 4 blocks and 4 steals.
No,
okay.
It was 4 steals.
All right.
It was across the board.
Okay.
Oh,
you gave Inglewood 18 and 8, and you gave Hyde Park 10 and 10 and 4. So. You definitely been giving out bucks. I've definitely been paying attention.
On Mount Carmel too, though.
And Mount Carmel's a good team.
20 by.
Mount Carmel's a good team.
We needed that one too.
Name your all-time.
Warren. No. I'm gonna say that right now. I gave y'all buckets. Cause they were talking crazy on Twitter. I ain't gonna say. Man, like after we lost, Aleks Alston couldn't beat us. Overrated. Like all of that. I told you I ain't never had stuff like that.
Right.
I got these people sending me messages after messages on IG, like the requests and stuff. Like that stuff just full of it. Like it's crazy.
For a long time, Dad. For a long time, when I first let Xavier on social media, right? I was in. All that shit was coming to me too, and I had to and he was handling it very well. I
laugh at
the females too, by the way. The females too, and so I did get to a point where I had to
understand social media.
I understood it.
You need to understand it. Because as a man and where you from and how you grew up, you didn't understand it.
Fair enough.
You understand it now.
I do.
It's
fair enough.
People what they call
trolls.
No, well you call it trolling. We call it fake gangster. Fake gangster.
Well, not even that. I'm talking about well that too. Because I actually had and I'll tell y'all off camera. I actually had a situation with a player from the 23 class that got real spicy with me on what's our guy do the videos Young Balls on one of Young Balls on one of his lives. Got super spicy with me on.
That was early a couple months ago, right?
No, this was last year. And this is a kid who came to my not that he wasn't shit. This kid came through the platform. I gave him an
opportunity.
And he was, when I tell you he was talking spicy, like I had to like, I responded to him.
You had to respond. Remember.
And then I had to like.
I shouldn't be doing this. It ain't that serious.
But it like he took me there. Yeah. And I'm talking about a kid, like.
Because they acting grown.
And man,
you forget that they a kid.
And so then it got to a point where it's like, you know what?
That confidence.
It got to a point where it was just like, you know what? I might need to talk to your dad because either your dad is going to correct it or I'm going to knock his ass out. Like, that's where I was at with it. See. But after a while, I just had to kind of chill and I deleted him and I blocked. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I can't be in that space. If my calling is this, I can't allow myself to get in that space.
Because there's going to be a lot of people.
It's going to be a lot of that.
Because everybody
now that
wants
Zay
to be
is not
the next
playing no more, and I got it a lot when Zay was playing.
Right.
Yeah.
And so now that he's not playing, now everybody want to be. But when he was playing, anyway.
And then that's why I let the JV program go at Kenwood last year.
It was too much. It was too much. Anyway, last couple of questions. Name your all-time favorite NBA 5 starters and 1 6-man.
D-Rose.
Okay.
PG.
Okay.
Shooter guard. Who I think is shooter? Well, I'm gonna put KD.
And it could be positionless. So
positionless.
This is your team.
Oh, I got
all-time favorite.
KD.
Go ahead.
D-Rose.
Okay.
Who else I got up in there? Yeah, KD, D-Rose. Trying to think. What you got? Oh, I got Kareem in there.
Okay.
I put Kareem in there.
Okay.
And I got
That's 3.
Who else? Who else I got up in there? I got KD, D-Rose, Kareem, MJ.
Okay.
I tweaked. I ain't even say MJ. I just tripped.
All
right.
I was waiting on it.
Yeah, I'm tweaking. And
who's your 5th?
I'm trying to think. I already know you put this out there, they gonna think I'm tripping. I gotta be smart with this.
That's because it's not been a power forward in your generation.
Nah, look. All right, so look, I got D-Rose,
go ahead. You got
MJ,
KD, Kareem.
Oh, and Hakeem Olajuwon.
Okay, that's 5. Who's your 6th man coming off the bench?
6 man coming off the bench. Well, I'm gonna be recent with him because I already got them. I need a little backup, and I already know he gonna give buckets with his little European game. Luka Doncic.
Okay,
you know he coming.
That's fair. All right, so I'm gonna age myself a little bit. I'm gonna go AI, Kobe, MJ, LeBron, Hakeem, and my 6th man Jamal Crawford.
Jamal.
Pops, give me yours. 5 starters and 6 men.
That's rough.
You can't ask him.
Yeah, because I might have to go with an all Chicago team.
Go ahead. This is your team.
Yeah, I'm
go ahead.
And we talking about like in their prime, right?
Go ahead.
All right, so at the point guard spot, that's tough. But I'm gonna go with Isaiah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Mike.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with big man. I gotta go with Shaq Diesel.
Can't go wrong with Shaq.
I gotta go with Shaq Diesel.
Can't go wrong with the Diesel.
I'm gonna go with Olajuwon.
Okay, that's 4.
You know, and yeah, I'm gonna go with Olajuwon. No, I got Shaq Diesel in there, so I don't need to go with Olajuwon. I'm gonna go with Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan, the big fundamental.
Big fundamental, because see, I gotta put them together.
Go ahead.
Because Olajuwon, I don't need Shaq if I got Olajuwon.
Yeah, that's true, or vice versa.
Or vice versa. So I'm gonna go with those 4. And then 5th. Man, I gotta go with hold on, who's that again?
You got Isaiah, Mike. You said Shaq.
Isaiah, Mike, Shaq,
No, you ain't got
and Tim Duncan.
Yeah. And then man, that's kind of tough. I'm trying to show my allegiance to Chicago, but all I need now, and then just give me Scotty. I mean, give me Scotty.
That's my all-time favorite player. Who's your 6th man? Who's your 6th man?
Off the bench.
My 6th man off the bench, because I got all these big hybrid guys. I gotta have another small guard, and I'm gonna come from Chicago, so I'm gonna go with Tim Hardaway.
Okay, I like it. All right, last 2 or 3 questions, Alex. I'm Muslim, and in Islam we believe that our children pick us as parents. So hearing that, thinking about your mother and your father, what do they mean to you, knowing that you picked them to be your parents, your guardians, the people to watch over you? What do they mean to you?
No words can explain. Like, I don't even know. It's like This dude right here, he for me, you know, small pop. Nah, I just feel like, you know, it was meant to be like, you know, my journey that I, you know, need, like the journey that I'm on, the path that I'm on, everybody has their own path. You know, that's what I go by. And I feel like how he said, all the things he's been through, everything he's been through, he could be right now head coach at one of the top schools in the country right now for college. But it all fell in place where now he's guiding me to make my decisions for my future, you know, and play at the highest level. And you know, he helps with my mindset. But then here comes my mom, you know, being the one to always keep my head high,
That's
you
what
know,
mothers do.
and make them good meals that I need for my kid.
Right.
But just be there and be my biggest supporter and allowing me to, you know, also, you know, have my dad's side, but then my mom's side, and now having that European in me as well, bringing that into my life. Now I got a whole another community supporting me as well. So it's like, it all fell in place. It's all falling in place as we speak now, you know, as I'm going. But just having them two with me, you know, and you know, can't take that for granted, you know, and I ain't trying to make the move sad, but, you know, not everyone has that. And I'm, you know, beyond grateful for it, you know. So it's like not a day goes by I ever think about it, be like, you know, dang, like I've got two loving parents that just want the best for me. So
you're right. Not a lot of people. And it's not a sad thing. That's the reality. A lot of people have that. You know, Dad, when you hear that, right? And we've talked about, we've alluded to the importance of our presence as black men and just fathers in general.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
When you hear him, you know, talking about you and his mom like that, like, you know, describe that feeling.
Maybe I did something right. I mean, that's the way I look at it. I mean, you know, Alex's family situation is a little different, and the fact that, you know, me and his mom divorced when he was young, and so I remarried. But in the back of that, I also have my mom as well. So he, you know, he has a bigger community even at home. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, when I decided to bring him to the city, you know, my mom helped me make that transition. I was working nights, and you know, we did all that, and, you know, and so forth. And then now with even, you know, getting to school and doing all that, you know, my wife Carrie, she does a lot to go in between that and help a lot with making him the person he is. And so, you know, between, you know, it's one of those things, man. It's a blessing. It's just a blessing, and I don't know any other way to put it, because, you know, it's just one of them things.
How important is it, or was it, to be able to have that that relationship with his mom, to be able to still effectively and positively co-parent? Not saying that it, you know, wasn't. Listen, I get it. You know, I'm not saying that it probably was some stuff, but like y'all at a point now where this is the important part right here.
And that's really what it comes down to more than anything else. You know, I'm getting better at co-parenting.
Fair enough.
You know,
fair enough.
But at the end of the day, I mean, what I can say, and I hope this is a blessing to someone else, it's not about me, and it's not about his mom. It's about him.
Right.
And once you understand that it's not about you, it's about your child, you tend to make better decisions, and certain things you have to let go.
You have to.
You know.
So my siblings and I, our upbringing, we had a very unique thing going with my mother and father, where they, even though they divorced, they remained like best friends. This is how deep it was. My mother's house currently that she lives in was my father's sister's house that he bought for her. Then when my father died, on his deathbed, the morning my father died, he signed over all of his properties and his veteran benefits to my mom, and then created, unbeknownst to us until we found out that morning, a plot. So when my mother's time comes,
everything's taken care of.
Everything is not only taken care of. My dad was a slick one. he wanted her to be buried with him.
That's how it goes. I mean,
but I had a unique relationship with my mother and father had a unique relationship, and my brothers and sisters and I, we benefited from that. But what it showed me, what my father was able to show me, was the importance, regardless of family and what it meant to be a father. He laid some very specific seeds in me and all my brothers as it relates to making sure that, you know, we are present and active. And for me personally, because of the unique and sometimes contentious relationship I had with my dad, where from the old school military, never really showed emotion, never really kind of like, I remember before my father died, I'm like, man, I don't even know if you love me. Like, I know you do because your actions show. You put a roof over my head, you feed me, but you never tell me, or you never told me. Now it's a huge part of my interaction with Xavier and his brother. Like, there's not one day that does not go by that I don't tell either of them that I love them, and I know that's important.
So that's very important. And growing up, you know, the household that I grew up in, you know, I had a single mom, and my grandfather pretty much ended up raising us, me and my brothers, and that was the biggest thing ever, what you just said. My grandfather instilled in us, I love you. My grandfather would, you know, we'd be outside playing, he'd come and give us a kiss on the forehead or whatever, kiss on the cheek, and people be looking at it, and that was normal.
That was normal.
Right.
You know, we had what we had in our family, and it was unconditional love. Like, my grandmother would take in people, and my mother would take in people, you know, we knew. It's a big story, but the reality is that's what I taught my son. I gave him hugs and kisses when he was younger, and he knew that that's a part of love. Like, to this day right now that he's 6'9", he likes to, you know, just get under my skin. He wants to hug me and fight with me and do while I'm laying down. While I'm laying down trying to go to sleep. He gonna do that. And you know what? At the end of the day, you know what he always says now? You gonna miss this in about another year. I'm gonna be gone with you. But the reality is that shows that I put that in him, and it's there. So it's very important.
It's very important, and Alex hit something on the head that is very important as well. Even the relationship that y'all still have, and as it continues to grow, not a lot of people have that. Even the people who may even have a father or father figure, just relate. The relationship is very important, and I wholeheartedly hope that you never ever lose that, because at some point, Dad's not gonna be here. And remember, I said those memories is all you're gonna have. So you need to create as many of them for your personal bank as possible. And what I even started doing back before my 6-year-old son was ever born, actually, this is the first time I'm ever saying this out loud. I actually created about 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. Ziggy is 6, so it was about 6 years ago, 6 or 7 years ago. I created a email account, and every so often, I just send pictures to that email account. And I have that email account set up to them so they can go look at it and within 15 to 30 days of me not responding, if something happens to me, that an email gets sent to their mother and to them to get access to that email to have all those pictures sent to them.
That's hard.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Like my sons, they mean the world to me. Like, I don't do anything good or bad without them in mind. And even the bad is like,
he'll be all right. No.
Last two things, man. Last two things. Just give me your overall thoughts, Alex and Dad. Give me your overall thoughts on the Exposure Runs platform. What you guys think it means to the high school athlete, and just kind of where we are now. Like, what's your overall thoughts on it?
I feel like it's a great way of putting Chicago on spotlight, especially with basketball. But like like this, being here and hearing the questions, it's like it's different. You ask questions about my family than about me and outside of basketball, and just really deep different things. Not a lot of people do that. So me being able me being able to express those things just shows, how much, hard work you put in as well, though. And creating a platform like this, I'm seeing stuff on my IG search, like the reels. I'm just scrolling through reels. I see exposure runs. I'm like, oh, shoot, And I'm just seeing, like, how you guys bring the city together at those, showcases as well. Like, when y'all had that showcase, that was all my feed was. Like, just after, hours, it's just exposure runs. So I just want to say, like, what y'all doing, man, it's, I appreciate everything y'all doing and stuff because it's really big and I hope nothing but the best for future.
No, we really appreciate that, and then I'm gonna give you an opportunity. But let me say, like, just having a young person like yourself of your caliber, as far as your notoriety and your experiences that you have, and just taking the opportunity and taking some time out of your day to come up here and talk to us for the last hour or so, hour and a half almost. It really means a lot to me personally because, as Dad pointed out, when Xavier was done, I was done because I accomplished what I set up. When I started this, my goal was to get him to school and possibly not come out of pocket.
Right.
I exceeded the goal of what I started out to do. So technically speaking,
right.
That was my I'm done. I don't need. And then it was just like, but I started it for the Xaviers, not just Xavier. The goal was to start it for Xavier, but it was like there's thousands, hundreds of thousands of Xaviers in Chicago alone. We haven't even fully tapped into these other states yet. It's like being sprinkled in there.
But you know what? You don't have to tap into other states. You got more than enough here.
More than enough.
The others, right? You got more than enough here. It's other guys from other states that can come and benefit from it. But it's here. A lot of college coaches don't come into Chicago no more for different reasons. But they still call and inquire, but they don't really come in because the best way to say this without stepping over, the game is fucked up. People have messed it up. And so until that, I don't know if it's gonna change, but everybody wants to now, the me. And so that's not going to change anytime soon, but you continuing to do what you do, trust me, there's more than enough here. It's just how you want to do it. I mean, that thing, what you call the exposure runs, they come in from all over. I look up as, different ones that everybody's throwing all these open runs and stuff like that.
Ain't nobody doing it like we are.
Right. Ain't nobody y'all doing it on the what's the floor y'all doing on? What's it called?
167.
Yeah, man, y'all got the whole windows.
So here's one of the major differences that I do this is that I'm adamant, and I mean adamant on continue. I've started it and continuing to do it for free. 92% of what we do comes out of pocket. It's either the showcase is either coming out of my pocket or my partner Ryan Foran's pocket, and then some of the other things that we do, like with the food and shout out to SVI for the sweatsuits and the clothing and the jerseys or donations. When I first started, I raised $10,000 through GoFundMe, and 90% of that came from my people in Philly. And I took that $10,000 and I spent an entire summer at the Pullman Center. I bought out a whole month and a half of the Pullman Center. I bought jerseys from
I remember.
Like the whole nine. I bought food, I bought basketballs, I bought some kids sneakers, and then it's just kind of grown to me and Bo. And my very first two financial sponsors, if you will, was Derek Ellison and my guy Tyree Booker from Philly. No questions asked. Boom, here go X amount. Boom, here go X amount. And then I just kind of grew from there. And
he called the basketball plug.
He's definitely the plug.
D is a hell of a guy.
He does, and you know what I love about this man? Let me tell you what I love about Derek is that a lot of people talk so much shit about him behind the scenes or out in the open. And
that's him though. He
does so much for these kids, and they don't even realize it.
They don't even know.
They don't even realize what he's doing for these kids, and he don't even want the credit. I talk to D pretty frequently,
but I'm saying they don't know.
They don't even know.
They don't even know.
And it be the people who talking the most. Like I done took or made a phone call for your kid.
They don't know. They don't know. And I know it because I know that other side of it. You get phone calls all the time, and it's Sometimes there's some good ones. Sometimes there's some bad ones.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't necessarily get upset when people tell me, Aleks need to do this. Aleks need to do that. You're right. He does need to do this and do that. But he got time to do it.
He got time to do it.
He don't have to have it today just to make you happy.
Man.
He's gonna have it later.
And it's still not gonna make them happy.
Even if you, even when you do it, it's still not. They're gonna find something else. Lastly, let me ask you to do this. I want you to look at that camera, and I want you to give yourself a future message. You already said you see our stuff up and down the timeline, so you're gonna see this up and down your timeline. Give yourself a future message.
Man, my future self. I don't know what to say. I'm gonna just say this before I even say I got like 3 videos in my phone. And people probably be like, what the heck he doing? I took a video when I was hurt in my 8th grade year, or my freshman year when I wasn't playing, and I said watch in 2025. I don't know. I still don't even remember making it. And it said watch in 2025. And I'm waiting till 2025 to see what it said, but it's something like it's like a future message.
That needs to be a part of your recruitment video. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying when you do the little montage and you're like, hey, I'm going to make my decision to go to. Make sure that video that you're talking about is a part of that montage.
It's in my phone. It's got its own thing, but it's on lock. Like it ain't letting me go to.
Okay.
Yeah, but my future self. I mean, you somewhere striving. That's all I know. But just keep working. You almost to the top. You gonna get there, and I don't know what else to say to it. I mean
that's short and sweet.
Good enough, man.
Yeah, it's good enough. Dad, give your boy a future message, quick and sweet.
All I can say is I'm proud of you. I hope you get a chance to achieve the many things that you want to achieve, and go as far as you possibly can. It's my job to put you in a position to achieve those goals. And so far, so good. and when you look at this, I hope that we actually on our way down to the green room. No matter what year it is.
And no matter what green room. Oh, you're talking about the green room.
The green room.
I got you.
The green room.
I got you.
It's up to you. Now, I've done my job. It's up to you. You work hard, you work harder, and you become the best player that you possibly can be. And the sky's the limit for you.
Sky's certainly the limit. Again, I want to take an opportunity to say thank you to you both. Aleks, I really appreciate, you just being here. But more than anything, I appreciate you being open to showing a side of yourself that most people don't get an opportunity to see. Yeah. Sometimes we guard ourselves as fathers. We give you guys tools on how to guard yourselves. But me being able to create whatever comfort and space for you to just be who you want to be in this moment, that really means a lot to me. So I really thank you for that. Dad, thank you for just allowing me to be in your son's space.
Thank you.
As dads, we selective on who we let in our children's spaces.
We are, but I mean,
so
everything.
I appreciate that. That means a lot.
I always say everything happens for a reason.
Definitely. Before we go, I do want to do my shout outs. Of course, I want to give a shout out to AGN Plus, my guy Bo Harrison across the board. There's No Exposure Runs podcast. There's almost no exposure runs without you, brother. So I really appreciate that. I really appreciate where we're going with this thing. So thank you. Obviously, the Numerex and Tyree Booker, my guy from Philly, as always. He hates that I always mention him because he's like, man, you done paid it back tenfold. Like, nah, brother. No, I haven't. Obviously to SVI Sportswear, who is a huge, they are our sponsors for the podcast, for the showcase, for the Unsigned Senior event. They make, my dope sweatsuits and my jerseys and my hoodies. I should have bought one, but I got you. I'm gonna give y'all. I got the black hoodies with the skyline. I'm gonna hook y'all up. Of course, Derek Ellison, I already mentioned him, National Director of Scouting of Mac Irvin, Shot Prep, and Example, a.k.a. the Bone Collector, as he calls himself. And then my partner, The Plug. Yeah. And then my partner, Ryan Forehand from the Chi-Town Showcase. We got the Unsigned Senior event on March the 30th. That's going to be a huge event. We're putting that together. My last thing I want to do is I actually want to put you and Dad on the spot. And of course, you can change your mind at some point later on down the line. But when you do make your decision, or you come to that point of making a decision, I'd like us to be the people that you come on and make that decision with.
I think that's a good little
So,
suggestion.
you guys can kind of, put y'all on the spot. I know at some point you'll get to a national, actually not at some point, but, you're already there, but you'll probably get pressure from that school to do it with their people. But we hope, as the little guy, you guys will want to come on and do it with us.
Hometown stuff.
A little hometown cooking there.
I ain't even trying to brag enough, but man, it's already
set up?
No, it ain't set up, but I'm saying it's like just a bunch of people asking already.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, oh shoot.
Yeah, it's
I ain't even dropped no top 10 or nothing.
I tell you what, I'll let him figure this one out. But sometime this summer, we probably be getting ready to do a 10, and then we start taking visits, and we're ready to do a 5. That last one, it's kind of tough because they usually do it in the schools, depending on, it just depends. I can't tell you what's going to go from now to then. Yeah. If he does what he's supposed to do, hopefully he'll be on ESPN.
Fair enough.
You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough.
We want that.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So,
we would definitely want that.
But
that's what we want.
But my thing is let's try to do something maybe with the 10 or the top 5 or something like that. Because my thing is I've always been a person that want to give back to our people, and you were an outlet for my son and his talents. So I need to be able to give that back and give you.
We appreciate that. Thank you.
I already know I'm gonna have a picture thing. I ain't gonna say with who, but they know, and then I'll come on.
Yeah, let's do it.
We buy the 10 hats or something. Yeah, sit them down like this.
We can do it. We'll have the space for it. But either way, man, thank you very much. I know I took up a lot of you guys' time, but it was extremely valuable to me. Thank you, and we look forward to seeing you guys the rest of the season. Good luck with the rest of the season, bro.
Appreciate
Go out there and get them work, my man.
For sure.
Pops, appreciate you. Thank you very much. We'll see you guys on the next episode.